Wednesday is a very important day for Social Security, including retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, and VA beneficiaries. I have all the details and why this day is so incredibly important. So let's get into it and discuss all the details. All right, Wednesday is rapidly approaching, and this day is going to be very, very important as we're going to be getting a very big announcement that'll directly impact about 70 plus million beneficiaries of all those benefits I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Therefore, as you can see, this announcement is very big and very influential, so let's get into it and discuss all the details and how this is going to impact so many millions of Americans living on those fixed income benefits. So let's get right into it. However, really quickly before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video, as I am your one and only daily advocate, and I am very much dedicated to you and this community to continue doing all the research, breaking it all down into these short videos, which I deliver a couple times throughout the day so you can stay updated with what is actually going on, especially during this very busy time and as we continue to get all of these new announcements with things that are changing so incredibly fast. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please make sure to remember that I'm here for you every single day, no matter what, doing all this research, and I truly want to help each and every one of you in this community in any way that I possibly can. So again, please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and I'll continue to be here for you right by your side every single day, as that's my commitment and my dedication, and of course, I'm sticking to it. All right, thanks again. Let's jump into it and discuss Wednesday and why this is such an important day. All right, so as we continue to work our way through the rest of the month, the month is zipping right on by already, even though we're only a handful of days right into it. The fact of the matter is we're zipping our way right on through this year. However, with that being said, this coming Wednesday is going to be the big day where we get the big announcement in regards to the inflation data for last month. Now, why do we care, and why is this directly going to impact those 70 plus million beneficiaries I mentioned at the beginning of the video? Here's what it comes down to. First off, yes, all of this inflation has been impacting all of us throughout the entire course of this year and last year, and basically all the years, this inflation has been very, very high. However, here's why this is so incredibly important. This coming Wednesday, we're going to be getting the first data release on inflation that is going to be within the third quarter of 2022. What does that mean? This means that it is the inflation data for the month of July 2022. Now remember, it all comes down to the inflation data for the months of July, August, and September to determine how much your raise is going to be to your monthly benefits. That's why this is so incredibly important. This is going to be the first of three pieces of information that we're going to be gathering to determine how much the actual raise is going to be to your benefit. Therefore, we have three pieces of data that we need to collect. We're getting the first one on Wednesday. It's a three-piece puzzle, and we're getting piece number one on Wednesday. Therefore, it is very, very important. Now, it's kind of interesting because I've seen predictions all across the board as far as how much this inflation reading could come in at. I've seen numbers ranging across the board from 9.4%, 9.5%. I've even seen estimates down at 8.8%, 8.9%. Currently, we are dealing with inflation at 9.1%. So here's what it comes down to. Yes, of course, we want inflation to go down. However, at the same time, if inflation does actually go up a little bit this next reading here for the month of July, then guess what happens? We lock in that higher data reading for the inflation for the month of July, which would actually be, when it comes down to your benefits and your raise, honestly, it'd be a little bit of a better thing. It'd be better off to see a higher number, like a 9.4, 9.5, something like that, for this reading versus an 8.8 or 8.9. But at the end of the day, let's be real with ourselves. If inflation is yet again moving higher at, say, 9.4, 9.5, 9.3, or anything above where it currently is right now, at the end of the day, that just means that we're paying more for the same old things that we buy at the store every single day. So at the end of the day, is it really a good thing that if this reading comes in hot, or would it be better off if it comes in a little bit lower? Now, if it comes in a little bit lower, that simply means that we're paying less at the stores, a teeny tiny bit, not much, but it would also impact the raise to your monthly benefits as far as how much that raise is actually going to be as it's announced in mid-October. So it's kind of like one of these situations where it's like a good and a bad, kind of like a give and take, right? Yes, we want it to come in big and hot so that it raises your benefit as much as possible, but at the same time, we also want it to go down so that we can stop paying as much for the same old things. Now, realistically, I wouldn't be surprised to see it actually go down a little bit, simply because in the month of July, energy prices have come down quite a bit, right? Well, as a result of energy prices going down in the month of July, that's also a big contributing factor in the actual inflation data that's released and going to be released on Wednesday. So, considering that energy prices and gas prices and things like this did actually go down a bit into month of July, I wouldn't be shocked at all to see it sub 9%, as in 8.9%, 8.8%. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see that. But at the same time, it just means that maybe the first piece of this three-pronged puzzle is actually going to be a little bit lower, right? Well, if we continue on at this same trajectory going forward through the next couple months here, August and September, the three very important months, July, August, and September, to determine the actual raise to the monthly benefit for the fixed income beneficiaries, well, then guess what? If that trends a little bit lower, that just means the raise that we're going to see is also unfortunately going to be lower. Yeah, right. Yeah, not exactly the best thing, right? We want a nice big raise with very little inflation. And of course, no raise to the Medicare Part B premiums. That's a lot of wishful thinking, right? I think that is a lot of wishful thinking right there. It's just not going to happen that way. That would be like a perfect situation, and realistically, let's be real with ourselves, we're not going to see a perfect situation, right? Anyway, the fact of the matter is, Wednesday will be the first reading that it really counts. All the other readings throughout the course of the year, yes, they have been very important, but at the end of the day, they didn't really matter all that much when it comes down to the annual raise to your monthly benefit. However, this next one is going to be the big one, okay? This is going to be the first of three readings. So the next three readings that we get, the one that's going to be happening on the 10th, which is on Wednesday. That's the Wednesday I'm talking about right now, as well as the one that's going to be released in mid-September, as well as the one that's released in mid-October. These are the three releases that we need to watch for, as it's going to give us the information and the inflation data for those 3 months, July, August, and September, to determine how much the raise is actually going to be. So, crossing our fingers that, yes, on one hand, prices start coming down on things, but on the other hand, maybe we'll still get a nice big raise here, or a nice big inflation number here on this, so at least we can get a bigger number in the book, so we can average it all out, because when we average it, obviously the bigger the number, the higher the average actually comes out to, right? So, anyway, which, by the way, just in case you're wondering what I'm actually talking about here, is what they do to determine the annual cost of living adjustment is they will take the third quarter CPI data, as in the Consumer Price Index, CPIW, Consumer Price Index for the, I keep saying it wrong. CPIW, Consumer Price Index for Urban Wage Earners and Clerical Workers. All right, boom, got it. Finally, I said it right. Sorry about that. But anyway, what they do is they take the inflation data from these 3 months, right? July, August, and September, and they compare it year over year to the previous year. So same quarter, third quarter of 2021, they're going to compare the inflation data from 2021 and 2022, compare it, and that's how they're going to figure out how much the raise will be for 2023. If that's not lagging, I don't know what is, right? So yeah, let's all say it together. 1, 2, 3, lagging. Yeah, that's what lagging is, right? So basically, we're taking inflation data from essentially a year ago and comparing it to now to determine how much the raise is going to be next year. Does that make any sense? Anyway, just saying. I don't know. It feels to me like this should probably get a little bit of work. This annual cost of living adjustment and how they calculate it seems to me like it should be adjusted more regularly than versus just once per year and based on old information, right? So anyway, just throwing that out there. But anyway, as I do get more details, of course, I'll be right here for you, breaking it all down. And watch the details on Wednesday, as I'll bring you that latest information as it is released and what it's looking like. But the consensus right now is anywhere between about 8.8 all the way up to about 9.5%. That's kind of the range that I'm seeing out there right now, according to the analysts, the experts, and everybody that's watching this right now. So anyway, of course, I'll be here for you, breaking it all down, helping you out, and making sure that this actually relates to your benefits and letting you know how this is going to impact your benefits in a good and or a bad way, right? Anyway, thanks again for watching this. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out some of the other thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, have a good one. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your day, and I'll catch you again later.